Some noise for all the people on the stage right now. You guys excited to get the show started? Are you guys excited to get the show started? I'd like to bring to the stage Darrell Hammond, our political strategist Aaron Lyles, cultural strategist Bridget Fedesi, and producer Louis Sabatasso. Give it up for him.
Hi. We're just waiting. They're on their way. What's up, Aaron? Give it up for Dustin David, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey. Oh my God, it's so funny. It's so
Dustin David with the Space Force. Here's the man of honor, the man we're all here for. Darrell Hammond. So first thing on the agenda is I know we've done this a couple times. 2020. No, we're gonna put the guest here. You wanted to be on the outside.
Yeah, I'm
good. All right. We are doing it's the second time we've done this in 2020. We've changed the name of the show, and the new name of this show is what it probably always should have been. I mean, let's be honest. The new name of the show is Darrell Hammond Saves the World, a live podcast.
Yeah. And it's literal, too.
It's literal. And that's kind of, and our friend Bridget Fedesi came up with that, our cultural strategist. Hi, Bridget.
Hi.
Want to say hi to the people?
Hi, people.
To the
Hello.
people.
Thanks for coming. Love you all. Till 5 minutes from now.
Aaron, you want to say hello, please?
Hi. I also love you.
We're filled with love.
Yeah, totally.
This is the love zone. And then finally, Darrell, please say hello to these lovely people.
Hey. I'm happy to see you. It's nice to be in front of people again.
So we are very excited to be here in 2020. We're really excited because this will probably be our last 5 p.m. Saturday show until we're moved to a better time. Have not told the improv that yet, but this is my passive-aggressive way of doing so.
Scandal.
We're just very excited to be here. Darrell, we had some extraordinary events in the world this week that all week I was thinking, how... It's not how's Trump going to deal with this, how's Pelosi going to deal with this, how is Darrell going to deal with this stuff? You know, we have some true crisis.
I was depressed. I thought it was fucking depressing.
It was depressing. Darrell, you described it as it was like funeralist.
Like funereal.
Funereal.
Like they're impeaching this fucking guy? Really? I mean, I know this guy's got a couple of fucking screws loose. You know, he's a little wacky guy, but it was pretty ugly, and it's going to get worse. Primarily because the Republicans are fighting. They're trying to pass a resolution where they don't have to give evidence or witnesses.
Which they will tell you that the left just did in Congress, which they sort of did, but I remember there being witnesses for both in just now, and you know, it's almost like they're.
It's like Torch Song Trilogy without the homosexual theme.
Yes. Anybody aware of Torch Song Trilogy out there? Great film with little Matthew Broderick and Harvey Fierstein. No? Okay.
Yeah, and so hearing that was sinister to me. I don't know. Bridget, should I have been upset by that or?
What? Yeah.
No evidence?
No evidence. We don't need due process. What's that? It's 2020.
Listen, this will be a good indication. In all seriousness, this is a Los Angeles crowd. I'm assuming, and we know we can assume how this sort of question would get the response. But by a round of applause, who in this audience actually thinks Trump deserves to be impeached? There you have it. There you have it. There was some.
Well, we noticed you didn't clap there.
Well, so I think the temperature you took earlier.
I don't love Donald Trump, obviously. I just don't know if he's done anything impeachable. If I really look at the totality of things, I don't know. I'm saying I don't know if he's done anything impeachable. I don't know. High crimes and misdemeanors. What Dershowitz was making some very valid points on CNN this week. Did you see that, Darrell?
I saw it, but it was about the Constitution. It was an interpretation of the Constitution.
Did you see Lev?
Who?
Lev Parnas.
I might have. Yes, I did see him.
And who's Lev?
Uncle
Parnas?
Lev.
Uncle Lev.
Tell the audience who he is.
Bridget, tell the audience who Lev is.
I don't know. I just watched the interview partially with the volume off.
I think he's the guy who is the Giuliani associate, right? Who said whatever he said. Trump. Blah, 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 blah.
Lev Parnas is an associate of Rudy Giuliani.
Associate of Rudy Giuliani.
He's the guy that the day before that they handed over the articles of impeachment as well, they released the handwritten notes on the Ritz-Carlton paper of how they were, what he needed to do. And he's also in I think he was in the WhatsApp chat, right? With the.
Oh, yeah. The chat got released.
Where he was like stalking the ambassador.
Yovanovitch.
Wait,
Yeah.
they're doing chats in WhatsApp? For
'cause it's
diplomacy?
technically supposed to be encrypted, but that was a part
Diplomacy chats in WhatsApp. My buddy Jim loves that. We'll get to Jim in a second. What do you think? Anything about Les Parnas that you saw?
First, Aaron, do you think he did anything impeachable?
I do. But again, like you said, it's an interpretation of the Constitution. But to me, it's more about you do have to have witnesses and evidence, so you could actually determine that. And the fact that they want to block that is concerning. But yeah, I do personally.
Before we get to Les Parnas,
Lev.
do you think Lev? Lev. I don't need to get the names right. I'm just the host up here. Do you think that Donald J. Trump deserves to be impeached?
I was paying attention to Paris Hilton's cooking show this week.
All right, I'm gonna take that as a I do not want to answer.
I'm vaguely paying attention.
I'm
I'm starting to tune it out.
everybody's tuning it out, but okay. So let's get back to Lev. Does everybody know who this guy is? Anybody see him? Everybody saw him, right?
Yeah.
We all saw this guy. He's the guy who's supposedly going to be the great witness against Trump, and it's like if this is like it just doesn't.
I want to know how involved everyone is in the news, in the audience.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Because I think that that's very much your wheelhouse, right?
Yeah, I live in it too much to the point where my head blows up. But
How many people know who this guy Parnas is?
They know who he is.
Yeah.
that's,
All right,
Okay.
Darrell, I want you to
Mostly
tell me
everybody.
your interpretation of this guy, because that's what I'm interested in hearing on Darrell Hammond Saves the World.
Please, Darrell. Don't make me beg.
I don't know what were we doing?
You were imitating him.
Oh, we're gonna get
upstairs,
you
Oh.
being because you know this guy.
And I was crying.
Well, he's just sort of sinister, with and the eyebrows and and the strangest hair ever.
yeah, yeah.
He's just sort of like, excuse me, gentlemen. I just was wondering if I could have some time with you. I don't want to take much of your time, but what I have to tell you will really curdle your blood. Doesn't he kind of look like if you look at him, you go, that's how he would be talking.
it's the hair.
Like, now I'm going to need you to step up against the wall now and put your hands behind your back. Yeah?
Yeah,
He's a character we could keep bringing back.
he is a character. Well, hopefully
I think he might
he'll
come
be
back.
get very involved in the coming.
And 4 of the 9 on hand will know him.
Yes. It's such a.
That's how I got away with making up the voice.
That's pretty accurate. I like that.
This is
It
a
is pretty
great
accurate.
audience. So
Yeah,
give yourselves a big hand for coming out.
Yeah.
I mean, what an audience! It's amazing.
Is he the new Michael Cohen though? Is he like he's a bad guy and now he's like everybody's hero on the left? Like, is that?
Listen,
Is that who he is?
I am no fan of the president, really. I mean, I'm not a hater either, but I'm not. I I finally really looked at CNN for what it was when they're basically making the guy that Trump had killed because he's a saint all of a sudden. I mean, this guy's like the greatest thing in the world all of a sudden, and Trump assassinated him. Like, dude, how could you? And then it makes me look at everything that comes out of CNN because it's so they can give this guy credit for nothing.
Are you talking about Soleimani?
Yeah.
But did they give Obama any credit for anything? I don't know because I just started paying attention like 2 years ago.
Jim, did they give Obama credit for
I
anything on
just got
CNN?
sober like a little bit ago. I was in a blackout. I missed most of the late, Obama administration.
Did 2016 sober you up?
No, I unfortunately got sober before 2016 because had I known what was coming, there's no fucking way I would have got sober.
Nice.
I would have been like, nope, 4 to 8 more years of a blackout, please. But I do, and also because I was always in the liberal kind of bosom of the bubble of the libs.
Liberal bosom.
The
That sounds
liberal,
nice.
I was held by the liberal bosom.
Do you know about
Sucked
this
off
bosom?
the teat of the liberal bosom.
Sounds
What did-
delightful.
Doesn't
Did
it?
you say the teat?
Yeah.
You should open up the DNC convention this summer with that. Who wants to be in the bosom of the left?
We've been sucking off the teat of the liberal
Sucking off the
That's the
teeth.
first
That sounded a little
message that will
dictatorial.
actually work for them. So it's great.
No, but I don't know. Did they give Obama any credit ever?
Yes,
On the right.
CNN. No,
on the right.
No, Fox
So
News
then
gave
it's
him.
normal.
It's the same. It's
This
normal.
Is just business as usual.
It's just, I didn't know that you were talking. I thought you were saying, but
no,
did CNN
I'm just saying
give
where
him
they
credit?
did they credit like everyone's like, oh, they never credit Trump with anything. Well, did the right Trump credit like Obama with anything ever? Were they like, okay, that's a good one?
Yeah, I think they did.
More
I think
tan
Fox
suit.
They
gave him.
did not. They did not.
I think Fox gave him some credit occasionally.
They credited him for wearing a tan suit.
Yeah, the tan suit was
He
a
was
big deal.
furious.
I
about
feel
it,
like they
though,
didn't
so-
credit him for very much. So I feel like I guess my point is that we're only noticing it because we're losing.
The good thing about this time today, and I will say this, everything sort of is taking on new meaning. Like I can go watch Shakespeare, and Shakespeare is taking on new meaning because we're in such a classically dramatic sort of time, right? I was reading Edgar Allan Poe, and that seemed to take on like more meaning because of the time, because of how things are right now. Are you familiar with Edgar Allan Poe, Darrell?
I'm not.
He's a Darrell. You seem to have your finger on the pulse of like I don't know. Let me just throw something out of there. Mitch McConnell.
Really?
And Mitch McConnell, what I was doing is I was reading Edgar Allan Poe and I was imagining it. Yeah, I was imagining it in the voice of like Mitch McConnell or who's the other one? Who's his cohort?
Lindsey Graham.
No, the other one. This guy. But
Chuck Schumer.
Chuck Schumer.
Gotta get better. at this movie.
But I was like, what would it sound like if Edgar Allan Poe was being read by Mitch McConnell? Off the top of my head, weird thing. And now that I have Darrell here to save the world. Okay, pull it up on your phone.
What am I pulling up?
Edgar Allan Poe wrote a poem called The Raven.
Oh no, I love The Raven.
Is everybody familiar with The Raven? You read it in school? These three. You
They
guys
know
got it.
The Raven.
You guys know The Raven.
Same people who know Parnas.
Maybe we should start reciting poetry on weekends. Have little gatherings like the olden days.
Oh, we're about to.
Little slam
Okay,
poetry.
so I want to know what it would sound like Mitch McConnell reading The Raven.
Make sure I can eat it. Pull. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping as if someone gently rapping at my chamber door. Here, I open wide the door. Darkness there, and nothing more.
So that's
Hammond, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up.
this is the time that we live in, where everything is sort of taking on more meaning. That was beautiful.
That was a
It's
shoe.
wonderful.
That was quite a shoehorn by Louis. Everyone give Louis an applause.
Thank you for- I randomly worked that in. We didn't. There was no.
Beautiful
Yeah, it was
transition.
very nice.
So Chuck Schumer spent the weekend going, Mitch McConnell has a droop?
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
droop about him? He's a droopy dog?
Listen, I think that it is sort of extraordinary, you know, the fact that all this stuff is kind of happening in this way, where it's like the whole everything taking on new meaning. I was reading Dr. Seuss this week, and I was reading, you know, not the one everybody the places will go, the one everybody. I was whatever.
The popular stuff.
I was
the deep
reading.
cuts.
I was reading
Is that a jerk
Green
off?
Eggs and Ham. Yes, but don't.
Is that a jerk off motion to the
No,
places
it was
we'll go?
not. No, I was so worried the
Blasphemy.
places will go. And I was reading it from the lens of like this current time, Green Eggs and Ham. I came up with nothing, but I was doing it through that
Because more
it's like
headier work.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
everything is through this new prism of
An existential crisis.
existential crisis. You know, it's like everything is through a prism of like, we're in this place right now. We're in this place right now. This isn't happening 15 years ago and we're reading about it. This is like right now. This guy is in office. Nancy, all this stuff is happening right now.
So dope.
We're aware of that,
What
right?
a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive. What a time to be alive.
Bridget's
ladies and
making a
gentlemen.
very nice career off of these times.
I mean, no.
No, I mean that in a positive way. I think that's a lot of people are in a good way because it's fucking insane.
I don't see that in my bank account. This career of which you speak.
I'm going to be deep in the heart of Trump company next week. Country.
Where are you going?
Naples, Florida.
Ooh.
They have entire retirement homes that are just MAGA retirement homes.
Really?
Yeah, I want to go teach yoga there.
Wait, is that like there's some agent who's pushing it as such, or the community?
I don't know.
is
I'm
actually-
not sure which came first. If like that, it just kind of sprung up and now it's attracting all the. But I was reading this whole article
We should
about
do the
it.
show
It says- it sounds. I need to go. I want to get a job as like a yoga instructor in a MAGA retirement home, just to like do a gonzo journalism piece.
Yeah, no, a lot of people don't.
Mega.
No one knows what.
A
Oh,
lot of people don't. I can't believe I had to.
that's so good.
Make America great again.
Come on, everybody has a MAGA.
No, a lot of people don't.
I've been calling it mega, which it's not.
Yeah, that's
I was
unfortunate.
corrected
We
a
should
few
do that.
times this week, Louis. It's not mega, it's MAGA.
Which is crazy because you keep wearing the hat.
I like red.
Yes.
You know, it seems to invoke a passion about people in Los
You're
Angeles.
spirited.
I do not wear the hat. I do not own the hat. I am not a MAGA.
I made one that said "Make Brad Pitt Great Again,"
Oh,
I saw
and
that.
it worked.
BP's always great.
Mission accomplished. I made it a year ago. I'm gonna send him one
He is
when he
great
wins
again.
his Oscar. Yeah, he is great again, and he
He's-
wasn't.
He's Tristan from Legends of the Fall, so like you just can't.
He was having a rough patch
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt has never had a rough patch. I've had rough patches.
Oh, rough patch.
Jim has had rough patches. Brad Pitt, no rough patches.
Oh no, no, there was a rough patch.
That guy wakes up every day and it's like, I'm Brad Pitt. Like, how bad can it get?
There was a rough patch on a private plane
Well, I mean, he's had rough moments,
that led
but not a
to
patch.
Mr. Bradley Pitt perhaps no longer drinking anymore.
Well, which I'm a big fan of. I after this scotch and soda, I'm thinking of laying down the booze. This might be it for me because I'm a little
Fingers crossed.
starting to feel it. Darrell, what I mean, listen, you are our solution to all of this stuff. We have impeachment. We have like, I mean, what Yeah.
I'm thinking of doing Mitch McConnell and the other, but
Schumer.
you know, I gotta read another Poe poem though.
Let's get it. Let's get you a Pope home, and then we're gonna bring up our guests.
Yeah.
Are you gonna do this in Naples? When you
I'm
go?
gonna do this in Naples.
Yeah.
That's why it's.
But I'm also working on like this Trump thing where he's singing "We're in the Money" in Pink Latin. Because you do have acid flashbacks.
What am I
I
doing?
had one on the couch today.
Pull up whatever you want.
What do we?
Edgar Allan Poe quotes?
Annabelle Lee poem.
Oh yeah, Edgar Allan Poe poem. All right, let me go to this. Annabelle Lee. We're just talk amongst yourselves quietly.
Should we talk about Bernie and Warren while they're doing that?
Yeah, we can.
Yes, that was amazing.
Bernie v. Warren.
How do we feel about the fact that they asked the question to him of whether he said it or not? He said no.
Yeah.
And then they go to her and say, how do you feel about when he said that?
Yeah.
He's
Tell me
like-
about the time you beat your wife.
Yeah, like, what?
Yeah, it's a little,
It's such a. I mean, listen. That's what I'm talking about. It's like the desperate moves. They did this playbook just now when they, ushered Hillary forward and told Bernie to go fuck himself, and we saw the result. They want to do it again. It's like, is there no sense of anything on that far left, in the far left, that this playbook does not work? Say what you will about the Republicans, and trust me, I do. They let Trump win because he legitimately won the nomination. He won those primaries. They desperately wanted Trump out. They desperately wanted to get rid of him. And they let him go because that's the process. The left does not do that.
I am all for Bernie v. Trump. Let's bring it on.
Anybody want to see Bernie v. Trump? What do we want to see? Biden? Biden v. Trump.
Warren v. Trump.
We had a solid nope out there, so we're
Warren,
going to need to get the
Oh, no,
mic
this is
out
West
there.
Hollywood. Pete, Mayor Pete.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
Mayor Pete v.
Mayor
Trump.
Pete v. Trump.
Wait.
I liked Kamala Harris v. Trump.
She was great.
She's really fucking good.
I think she's amazing. I don't know if she's a president.
Well, I'm just talking
Woo,
about.
you're about to get canceled.
Not because she's a woman.
I'm gonna blog about that when I go home.
Please do.
Newsflash. Aaron
Please do.
Miles.
Aaron Miles. Tonight on a stage.
Women should not be president. That's exactly what I said. No. I was really disappointed in came across her a couple times. I was disappointed in the lack of being able to answer certain questions that I thought should be answered. So I was very surprised by that. But,
Who was asking?
myself and others.
Oh, did you see her in Vegas?
Yeah.
When you went to Vegas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a good chunk of questions that can be answered, and I'm a fan. Like I think she's amazing. I think but yeah. So that made me think of like, wow, maybe you're not suited for that position. And this is like the whole field, right? Like I love Andrew Yang. Do I think he's a president? Not really. Like, does that mean like? And you could kind of go down the road.
Do we have any Andrew Yang fans here?
Yang gang.
No members of the
I think
Yang
he's
gang.
amazing.
I
We
want
have
my
no
friends-
members of Bernie, so all you guys are voting for Trump out there, obviously.
This is a MAGA rally, actually.
It's nobody's. So who are we voting for? Oh, you guys don't want to say. You don't have to say.
Anybody. Yeah.
Anybody but Trump. How about anybody but Trump?
All right.
Any Trumps?
Notice that couple back there. Is that? Yeah. Anybody but Trump. All right. Well, I think we should. I want to get into reading that poem.
Yeah, I really want to get one.
Let's
more.
get. Okay. Let's.
And then we'll bring up our amazing guest. But I really want to hear some
Our
more
guest
Mitch
is
McConnell.
amazing.
No, let's bring up our guest.
Just so they can witness it firsthand.
Thanks, buddy. Dustin, you want to bring up our guest?
I do. Our guest tonight is a writer and a comedian. You have seen her on Comedy Central. Please give it up for Sophia Alexandra.
Welcome.
Thanks. Here you go, Darrell.
Hi. Welcome, Sophia.
Thanks for giving me the Big Daddy seat.
Oh, that you listen.
Appreciate it.
This is we're trying new things here in the lab on this show, and this is one of the things that we are trying.
Just FYI, you cannot have dessert unless you finish your vegetables.
She's in
I'm a
the
very tough Big Daddy.
matriarchal position.
And we're at the table.
And also, I believe this is how they do it on The View. Am I right? They have they have the people around, and then they have the guests in the
That is
middle.
correct,
Anybody
yes.
watch The View?
I do. I'm serious. Yeah, every day.
Can I be Megan McCain?
I want to be Whoopi. Have you guys ever seen that video of Whoopi farting like in the middle of just like a conversation on The
I
View,
did
and she
not
goes,
see
"Whoops,"
that.
and she just owns it.
I love her.
That's who I want to be.
Have you seen that, Darrell?
I don't know who else is on there.
I haven't seen that one, but
I have not either.
I'd like to be that kind of person
I'll send you a link.
as well.
To have that little shame that you can just fart on national TV and just be like, yeah,
She doesn't give a fuck. She's
Unlike
been around the block,
Swalwell and
man.
Chris Matthews.
Yeah, I just want to be, Louis. Just want to be.
I just want to be. My friend has a dog, and and I was watching the dog recently. It's my buddy Daniel, and this dog, it's like this is what it's like to go through life with no shame. Right? The dog will like shit anywhere he wants. The dog will just lick himself. And then just it's no shame.
A dog can be shamed.
Watch a dog and imagine having that little shame.
But a dog can be shamed by a human.
Yeah,
so
they
it's
get
like a
shamed.
rock, paper, scissors situation, and the dog is...
Yeah, but they brush it off. And then
They
that
don't.
shame is
Have you
gone.
ever talked to a dog and told them how disappointed you are in them?
There's no shame anymore.
A dog
They're
will...
shameful, and then they're good.
Cats don't have shame.
No, a
Dogs
dog
have
will
shame.
look sad. Yeah, cats do not give a fuck. You can't give a talking to a cat.
It's my friend-
A dog will like put its tail between
Yeah.
the expression comes from there. You know, they give a shit.
But they shake it off.
Between the legs, you know what I mean?
It's my friend Daniel's dog. His name's Roberto, in case Roberto's listening. Just give him a shout out.
By the way, I love that he's doing like
Yeah, this
spot
is
on
that
Mitch
dog's favorite
McConnell,
podcast.
and you're doing dog.
Listen, I'm the real impressionist up here, as you guys will quickly learn. Darrell's my understudy.
Darrell's so not interested. The mic could be like over there. I said you're so not interested in what's happening. Your mic could be right over there. You're not even gonna
I
use
think
it.
I've hit a rough patch.
Back to the
Brad
rough
Pitt
patch. Back to the
time.
bad Pitt rough
Like, I'm
patch.
trying to figure when I'm gonna jump back in. So
You're in it. You're in it. You're back, Darrell. You're back.
Sophia, tell us something. You're Ukrainian, I believe.
I am. What a popular thing to be right now.
We're not opposed. We Ukrainians are awesome.
Cool. People love asking me, so you go back? I'm like, do you watch the news? No, I'm not fucking going back. What is wrong with you?
I definitely asked her in the green room.
She did 5 minutes ago.
She's referring to me asking that.
No, it's honestly everyone, but I also love Bridget. Yeah.
well, are you?
Yeah, tomorrow. I'm gonna.
What do you
fucking
think
be
of this
there.
guy, the stand-up comedian, right, that became head of the nation?
Dude, I don't know if people
Could've
know
been
this.
you.
You guys, he used to play a president on TV. And
Wow.
then he became the fucking president.
Yeah.
How dope is that?
Yeah. I mean,
Why did Martin Sheen not win?
I was just gonna say.
I want a fucking
He
Martin
could've.
Sheen presidency. What is
could've.
happening?
Yeah.
Martin, yeah, that could have been good.
Yeah, right?
Martin would've
But
been
I was
Okay.
in like Frankie Grace or Grace and Frankie or whatever it is.
I mean, that's
Like,
almost as
even
good as
better.
the presidency.
Oh, I prefer him there.
We pulled somebody off TV, all right, to be president, though. Yeah. You know.
No, I know, but he wasn't.
he wasn't
He was trying to.
president.
No, he
Wrong.
was barely able to play himself.
You know what's really fun?
Wrong night. Sorry.
I was literally watching Fresh Prince of Bel-Air the other day, and Trump was on it, and it ruined the whole fucking show for me. I was like, well, I can't watch this anymore.
Yeah. My
He was
favorite-
there with his first wife, I think.
I've never seen that, but I've heard about.
Yeah,
this
he was just
episode.
like, yeah, I'm rich. I live in this neighborhood.
That was the role
I'm
he
not
played
an
in
impressionist. I'm
everything.
sorry, Darrell.
Go ahead, Bridget.
Oh no, one of the really fun things to do in the era of Trump is watch every movie about a president. Like I recently watched Air Force One.
Fuck yeah, that's the
And pretend that it's Trump in that, and I'll tell you, it's a good time.
You're like, he would have been in that fucking pod.
Trump would have been like, oh.
He would have murdered people on the plane
To
that
get
are his
in
own
that pod.
people to get to the pod faster.
Pushing people out, leave the wife behind.
He's
Darrell,
like, what wife? She was my slave this entire time.
Are you familiar with Air Force One, Darrell? Kurt Russell.
Harrison Ford. No,
Harrison
Harrison
Ford.
Ford. How dare you?
I'm sorry, I
Oh,
got
you're
my
now
old
canceled.
white men
No.
confused.
Cancellation happened so quickly. You just got canceled.
We're talking about Tombstone?
Yeah, imagine
That's a
Trump
great
in
fucking movie.
Tombstone. No, that would be rough.
She's having a really good set.
She is. She's great.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're very funny.
This is all I really want.
Appreciate
You
you.
got what you came for.
Have you heard her talk about her grandfather's pizza?
Pizza.
No, but
I am-
I'd like to hear about that.
Amazing.
It's a story I told him This Is Not Happening, where basically I had to translate my grandpa's dick surgery to him while it was happening into Russian.
Wow.
And it truly traumatized me
And
for the
how
rest
old
of my
were
whole
you?
life.
How old are you?
This was like not that long ago. It's like within the last, 5 to 7 years or something like that. Yeah. Because sometimes they don't have a translator available at the hospital. They're like, oh, they're not there. Like, well, he doesn't know what's happening, and you're about to cut his dick open. Could I maybe tell him about that first? So that's how, and my mom and my aunt were there, and they just do not fuck around with that kind of stuff. So they were like, okay, we'll see you later. We'll be at the coffee shop. Okay, bye. And I was like, oh, this is, I guess, what I do now. Translate dick surgeries.
And how did that sound? What did it
Well, it
sound
was just
like?
a lot of yelling because he was just like passed out.
So
You know,
you
they're
were
just
yelling
like-
the dick surgery.
Yeah, I'm
too.
yelling like Russian directions into his face. I'm just like,
Yeah.
Дедушка! Они сейчас тебе будут резать письку!
Oh boy.
It's just the most upsetting thing you can hear. And then they're like giving him shots in his dick before to like numb it.
I would hope so.
Yeah, it's 7 shots, and I was just like counting down. I was like, 7 уколов! Раз! Два! Three! It's just like counting down his dick shots for him.
In the romance language.
Yeah, I know, it's beautiful.
Did he appreciate that afterward? Did he say
He has
something?
no memory of this happening. And this has scarred me so deeply. And he has no memory of it. I'm like, good for you, but also terrible for
Can you
me.
imagine if he did though? What would that be like?
Well, at least we could commiserate. Be like, that was fucked up. That was one time. But it's just me alone. I like, have to find the doctor from that surgery just to talk about it. It's like, how fucked up was that? He's like, no, I do this all the time. I'm like, oh, just for me.
So you're Ukrainian. All of you guys were in cahoots apparently with the Dems and against Trump. Why did you do that?
It was truly only my fault.
I mean, it's
made all
very
the big
clear that the
decisions.
Ukrainians were against Donald J. Trump.
Do they care? Like, are they into any of the shit that we get lost in here? Or are they actually like?
Mostly it's like a bemused sort of, oh, okay. You guys are the number one country. Okay. You're number one. Okay.
But you
No,
know,
no. Okay. Tell us more. That's
they-
kind of what it's like.
they
People
mock.
just,
right.
no, it's just like everything is fucked up. We don't take it too seriously. We're like already, like we've only had bad leaders ever.
Yeah.
So it's just like
You guys are used to
adorable
it.
for us to
Yeah.
see how
Oh,
much
they're all
everyone's
they have a
freaking
bad-
out,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I'm like, name one good Russian leader. Like starting with the czars. We got one, and Alexander, and we fucking murdered him right away. Right away. So, yeah, I can't tell Americans this isn't going well.
Sure you can.
I mean, I can, but things are not good where I'm from ever. So I'm just egg on my face, really.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think there was Stalin. Was he considered? No. Stalin was not.
Big fan.
Did you ever see Hunter Biden like
Tchaikovsky?
walking around?
Yeah, it was Hunter Biden. That was my next question. Did you see Hunter Biden
anywhere?
Oh my God, Hunter.
Because obviously he was working. He's in the coffee shops and stuff. You probably saw him around a lot.
Yeah, all the time. I've not been there since I was 11, but I see him.
Neither is Hunter.
Yeah, exactly.
Hunter Biden, for those of you, everybody knows.
He's Joe Biden's son.
Well, that part we knew.
What?
But Hunter was, what was the name of the company, Darrell, that he, Burisma. Trump says that.
Sounds like a medication.
R-E somewhere in there.
Burisma.
Take Burisma for your
Yeah, it
heart.
does.
Burisma.
Heartbreak of psoriasis.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, say that. What were you saying?
I was going to say that is a really an interesting notion that in Ukraine, when they're looking at us with Trump and this whole situation, they're just like, dude, we get this, right? It's like me. I have polluted my body my entire life, but if Tom Brady lived one day of my life, he would die. It's the same thing. It's the same, right? We have a Tom Brady fan in the back, Mike. Give it up for my buddy Mike from Boston. Hey Mike, thanks for coming.
You're welcome.
But right, what did that be like?
How is that about being Ukrainian?
No. I mean, because Ukrainians, because she just made the point. She just made the very eloquent point of saying, we've always just had bad leaders. Now it's cute that you guys are going through what you're going through. Same thing, Tom Brady. That was the So
wait, I still don't get it.
I think
when you don't get it, just and you're good.
I think it's.
Yeah, that was like a yada yada yada.
Yeah.
Dustin?
You're trying to yada yada me. You
I
can't do
think
that.
I follow this. If an American went to the Ukraine, they would immediately be overwhelmed by how bad it is, much like your body and Tom Brady. Am I close?
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you for that.
Okay.
That's exactly the metaphor.
Ukraine's not like a shithole. I hope everyone knows it is
Hey, this is
beautiful.
Louis'
The cities are
comparison.
very nice.
I was not calling you. See, this is the problem with fake news. I did not say Ukraine was a shithole.
Well, now we have a soundbite of you saying that.
I did not. Darrell, did I say Ukraine was a shithole in any way,
You
shape, or
just
form?
said it a second time.
Oh my God! You can't edit that together where I say Ukraine is a shithole. You can't do that because it's
And I
not.
will, and I will
This is
trend
real,
it.
buddy.
Yeah.
Cancel.
Paul,
Louis.
use that one, please.
Got you.
Yeah, thanks.
Ukraine is not a shithole. It's a lovely,
It's a
lovely,
beautiful country.
beautiful
Exactly.
country.
That's right. We just don't know how to rule ourselves. We just
Well, neither do we.
don't know how to do
Yeah,
it.
we're
We're
struggling.
Well,
right
but you
there
guys
with
have
you.
like really quaint things. Like you have like until now, you guys have had like respect for the presidency and like honor.
Adorable.
And like like you don't murder your diplomats or journalists
Or poison them.
and pretend
We
that
don't
they
tell
have
you when we do.
sudden organ failure.
Yeah.
Sudden
You
organ
guys
failure.
don't have that. So to me, it is like, wow, this is truly a bad time, but how quaint that you've respected the presidency for so long.
Yeah.
Whereas we never have respected any of it ever.
Is it
It's
absurd
sad.
that we did?
No, it's beautiful. That's why I love The West Wing. I mean, I watch it like I watch it before I go to sleep because I'm
But
like,
it
this
does-
is what it could be.
it does
It's a
seem
beautiful,
absurd,
beautiful
though.
fantasy. No, yeah, it's just. I mean, I grew up in a country that's like run by bribes and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
certain
not.
things
we're-
are beautiful, like you
sounds
have
so
universal
foreign to
health
us.
care.
Yeah.
But no, I mean on a personal level.
Mm.
Like you go to the doctor, you bring them a box of candy or like a bottle of vodka. That's how you get anywhere.
That would
If
be-
you want your DMV paperwork or whatever the fuck to proceed, you like. That's how you do. So to me,
That's
it's like
awesome.
adorable to hear people just like, I have a job to do. And I'm like, okay. So
Darrell,
that's great.
could you imagine that if we had more of a barter system here with doctors? Like you could walk into a doctor and be like, "Oh, I'll do my Bill Clinton. I'll get some oxycodone."
That would fill the bill.
Well played. Nice.
I need you to amputate this arm, Doc. But first, let me talk about. Let's talk about your wife. Sure, I'd like that.
I immediately thought of how that would work. How we could really parlay that into something spectacular. Have you been to Ukraine?
No, my ex-husband was Belarusian though.
Oh my God! Did he
Great.
beat you?
No. I
Does he
left him
code?
before he had the chance.
Good.
I think
Good,
he
Bridget.
wanted to. Like he kept
You could see
himself
it in his
check,
face, right?
He wanted to stay in America. No, he was right off the boat, but we still are friends. I saw him over the summer, and he laughs at all the he'll see like the Antifa or the Antifa like waving the flag, and he's like, Bridget, I do a horrible accent. He's like, what the hell is the matter with you? What the hell is the matter with you people? I did not leave to come to this shit. Like, he's so angry
We love
about
saying that.
I wanted what the hell is the matter with you on my tombstone. He said it so often to me.
Dude, when TJ Maxx won't give me a sale, I'm like, I did not go to this country for
Can we
this
give it up for
full-price
the?
bullshit.
Can we give it up for the gifted impersonators on this stage? Bridget, myself, and I guess sort of Darrell, but Bridget and myself is just. I mean, it's epic. This side of the table, Darrell, is epic. It's like a rap battle.
No big deal, but I think our side of the table is winning, so it's fine.
Can I see the dog again?
Well, I don't even remember the
He's
dog.
got one in the chamber.
I don't
here, so
remember.
you gotta be careful.
I don't remember the dog.
Cut it
I
up.
don't remember the dog. Well, back to the chamber. Let's get back to the Senate chamber, and I want to hear this McConnell and Schumer reading this other Edgar Allan Poe poem, because I like to flip it back there. I'm going to flip it back to the chamber. Edgar Allan Poe.
Does it have to be Edgar Allan Poe?
Yes, it does.
Fucked and married his 13-year-old cousin. Why are we like, oh, let's read more of him?
Listen, everybody in those days.
Fucked their 13-year-old cousin and married. All right. I'll
Yeah.
take that, I guess.
The guy with the hair and the played the piano. What was his name?
Louis.
Johnny Lee Thunder. What's his name?
Are you talking about
Billy Lee
Great Balls of
Jerry?
Fire?
Yes.
Yeah.
Jerry Lee Lewis.
Maybe we should read some Sylvia Plath.
Ooh,
Does the
switch it
audience
up.
like that?
I heard a woo. Mitch McConnell.
Sorry, I've derailed this. Please.
There's one captain of this ship, and it is me.
Oh.
And I say we are reading Edgar Allan Poe right now.
I'm in the Big Daddy seat, but whatever.
Patriarchy always wins, I guess.
Seriously, right? Am I right?
Thank you. Thank you.
We've got two daddies.
So. Oh, and with Nancy.
Wow. Like this.
Have you heard of the poem Annabelle Lee?
Mm.
Alright. This time.
It's the one where he fucks a dead body.
I think so. There's a lot of fucking going on. Alright, here we go. It was many and many a year ago, in a kingdom by the sea, that a maiden there lived whom you may know by the name of Nancy Pelosi. And this was the reason that long ago, in this kingdom by the sea, a wind blew out of a cloud by night, chilling my Nancy Pelosi.
And where's Schumer in that, though? Oh.
Edgar Allan Poe was a pederast. He stooped his daughter.
I believe it was his cousin, just to say
He
fact.
stooped his cousin with the droopy face.
Darrell Hammond, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen.
Well, that was remarkable. That was remarkable. Next time we'll get some Sylvia Plath. I promise. I'm not trying to. I was not aware of Edgar Allan Poe's proclivities to his cousin. I just know that when I really want to feel depressed and suicidal, that's my go-to. You know, I go to Edgar Allan Poe.
That, you know?
It's so dark and wonderful, and then this is a dark time, and the thing with the Edgar Allan Poe, and I really feel like it's I think it's pertinent, Darrell. I think we're in that.
Got a little telltale heart action going on?
No. I think in a lot of ways we are living that right now. The telltale heart. Everybody familiar with the telltale heart?
Flip it up if you are familiar. Okay, great.
Wonderful story.
How is this like the telltale heart, though? Eh?
Well, I think because we're with the beating of the heart under the thing with the situation, it's very reminiscent of what's going on
in Ukraine.
In Ukraine.
You really brought it around. That's beautiful.
Very similar to Ukraine right now.
And
completed
Putin.
a Herald. That was beautiful.
I mean,
Someone run across the stage.
That's really just for the improv heads out there. All right, zip zap zop heads. All right.
Just busted myself.
zip, zap, zop heads.
So next show we do Kung Fu Fighting
Yes.
and Sylvia Plath.
Okay,
Yes.
fuck
Nice
yeah.
mixture. I like that.
Yes.
He's
Kung
got
Fu
9 shows,
on it.
so.
You know what I think about a lot is that not everybody thinks these are dark times.
Oh shit, that'll fuck you up.
Yeah.
Right? Someone's having like
That's
the
true.
best 2 years of their
A
life.
lot of people are
A lot of
like,
people.
this is the greatest. We're winning.
I don't know how I've never thought of that, but now it is gonna haunt me.
There are a
Wow.
lot of people who are like, this is the best years of their life.
Holy shit.
This
Living
isn't really the
their
best
best
city
lives.
to understand what that feels like.
The Trump
It's
years.
Yeah.
The Trump
I
years.
don't know. I've met Trump supporters, but none of them seem that happy. Do you guys think that that's true? That they're not that happy?
I've been.
I don't know if they're blaming Trump or anything. I just mean I wasn't like meeting Trump supporters and they were like, "Woo! 2018, baby!"
Have you seen
Like,
a rally?
Yeah,
Are you
they're
kidding me?
pretty heavy.
Those
well,
people
but
are pretty-
the rallies are like a couple hundred people. It's kind of sad.
No, the rallies are far more than a couple hundred people. They're thousands of people.
Well, it depends on which ones you mean. I was thinking the
Yeah.
white pride ones, the
Oh,
nationalist ones. Those
yeah.
are the ones that I'm really worried
Those are
about.
smaller.
The idiot Trump ones, I'm like, that's fine. That's a true level idiot. That's fine. We can do that.
We do not say on this show that if you're a Trump supporter, you are by definition an idiot.
You don't, but
But
I
our
do.
guest
Our
can.
guest does.
Yeah.
I'm making it clear that our guest says that. But we do not make
You
it
can
a
tweet at
practice
me
of that.
very angrily at the Sophia. I'll just mute you. I won't even block you.
Yeah, give them,
Muting is really how you
give
hurt
them your
someone's
Twitter
feelings.
feed. You just why don't you lean right into that? Tell us what your Twitter feed is.
The Sophia, Sofiya.
Sofiya. That's an interesting spelling.
Well, it turns out when you move here and you fill out all the paperwork, no one's there to be like, hey guy, this is how we spell Sophia here. You're just out on your own. And I was like, this is how it sounds in my language, so.
Oh, so it's phonetically.
It's
Yeah.
phonetic. So like we have a letter, ya.
Yeah.
That's like one letter, YA is one letter. So I just translated it exactly. I was like, YA makes a ya, so Sophia.
Yeah, YA makes
So
a yaw
much
here
more
too.
sense.
doesn't it?
Yeah, so, but no one was like, you could just drop the Y.
I literally dated someone from the Ukraine once.
Wow.
Did you like them,
Do
or were they
tell.
crazy?
I don't know, they were beautiful. Like, so fucking noble and beautiful.
Noble and beautiful.
But a little bit like
I think he's hitting on it.
she was a little bit weird, like sexual. Like
I wanna know
like
about that.
no moaning, no you know, it's more like what you're doing. Continue. Continue.
That is my favorite new character. Please do this all the time.
Continue. I'm like, God damn, Svetlana. I can't bust no nut. I'm walking around a jackbench and shit.
What did it sound like when she came?
Huh? I don't know.
You never got there. I never got there.
It never actually happened. So, I don't know.
I wasn't better with you. That's when that came in.
Oh, rather like a strident trumpet, perhaps. I imagine it would be.
How's the audience doing out there? Everybody good?
I think we should talk to them.
Do you guys have anything you'd like to say? If we gave you a microphone right now, you're just so desperate to. Besides Jim, I know, because he's going to need a microphone in a second. Jim Hack, ladies. Everybody give it up for Jim Hack here in the front row. Jim has an amazing new show with Max, but we can't talk about that yet, can we?
Yeah, I think you can. It's
They have a show that it's about the Lakers in the 80s, and it's called Showtime, and it's
not gonna be
unbelievably
called
awesome.
Showtime, but it is.
Well, it's tentatively called Showtime, but it's on HBO, so that's a bit
That's why
confusing.
it's not going to be called
It's
Showtime.
a bit confusing. I said you should call it Fabulous. That was my idea when he brought that in. Fabulous seems like a good 80s fabulous. But then they said it
That
sounds a little bit like a gay
Pose
musical.
or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
that doesn't sound like
Yeah.
that's what you're getting. You guys know
Yeah.
Pose, right?
Fabulous,
Pose is fucking tight.
Fabulous Forum. Darrell, did you ever go to the Fabulous Forum? Forum Club.
Oh, I got somebody in the audience here. If you want to.
Oh, yeah, please.
Yeah, I read something recently that was sort of interesting to me, and I wanted to get your guys' opinion on it. Has anybody here heard of the term digital amnesia?
No, tell us about it.
It's the willingness to forget important information with the trust that you could immediately retrieve it from a digital device.
I have that.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't answer.
Yeah. That was just something that I thought that was, kind
That's
of interesting.
fascinating.
Yeah.
I also read an article a while back that was like, when you're married to someone for a long time and they die, you lose like half of the information because they're information keepers. And I was thinking about that. I was like, shit, my husband knows all my passwords. So like all of the Netflix and everything, I'm like, if he dies, like
That's
I don't have
it.
any
You
of
don't-
that shit. I'm like,
Yeah.
he's gotta text it to me. But like, yeah, it's true. You start relying on that person as like your hard drive for something. So you're like, oh, the things I do are these things, the things he does are these things. And then if they fucking die, you're like, oh, I gotta fill in those blanks real quick.
Darrell?
And I knew the volume. She changed the channel.
Yes.
Yeah, you split up the duties. Yeah.
You go to a cocktail party and know nobody's names.
Yeah,
You've
I'm
known
like,
them for 10
He
years.
was the keeper of that. Like, what the fuck?
You know everyone's names.
I'm waiting for you to say, Darrell, I'm waiting for you to save the world on this point. To bring it home, babe.
Well, did you mean Hunter Biden?
I think we have another audience member who wants to say something. What's your name, sir?
My name is Zach.
Hey, Zach.
How are you?
I'm wonderful.
That's fantastic.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
We're having quite a moment here.
You got a
tonight.
beautiful beard.
I was just gonna say that.
beautiful,
It
yeah.
really is nice.
I really appreciate that.
Zach,
I
would
am
you-
Ukrainian, me too, you know. I mean, it's mostly Ashkenazi Jewish, but you know.
I'll take that. Me too, bruh.
What do you got for us, Zach?
One, you definitely look like Ilana Glazer. FYI.
People say that all the
I
time.
assume so.
Thank
I just
you.
wanted
Are you
to be
talking to me or
another
her?
one.
Oh,
Definitely. Second, I want to hear predictions from each one of you. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win the Democratic
Trump.
primary? And who's gonna win the general election?
Ooh, okay. Bridget, you go.
Jeez Louise. I think, well, it depends on, I don't know. My gut is that they're pushing for Warren. So I think she'll probably secure the nomination. I mean, like, it seems like that's where the energy
Really? I
is
think
going.
they're gonna go for
DNC there,
Bernie,
or-
which I
don't know. I mean, I would say energetically, I feel like he has momentum right now.
yeah.
But I don't think that. I think they're gonna steal it from him again.
And then who do you think's going to win the general?
I mean, whatever. I think they'll take. I think Trump.
Yeah. I mean, listen, people in this audience don't want Trump, but I think there's a lot of realists in this audience as well. I think it's going to end up being Biden. I think he's been kind of the front runner from the beginning. I think they're going to just, and when I say they will, it's because it's almost like a committee of Democrats that decides this in a back room, which we learned last time, not out front, and they don't let the people decide, which the Republicans did. I wish they would learn and just get the boop, boop, boop. I think it's going to be Biden and Trump, and I think, fortunately or not, I think Donald Trump's going to win re-election.
I think that I think Biden probably will end up being the nominee, which I think is a really bad mistake. I think they're just gonna John Kerry this. Because he does not have
They're going to
any
Bob Dole, John
charisma.
Kerry it. Yeah.
He does not have any charisma. People would rather die than like. I mean, he did
He might
originally
die.
had charisma, but then people were like, "Oh, you're also very creepy," and I think that kind of canceled out his original charisma. I think when he had Obama in office, he was like an adorable golden retriever that would just be like coming in all excited. He's like, "There's ice cream," you know. He's like getting on your lap. You're like, "This is too much," but I love it.
Trump's creepiness
And-
didn't kill his charisma.
No, but
creepy as
the people who voted for him don't care that he's a rapist. So it doesn't
who do you
matter.
think
And they think it's all like fake.
Yeah, I think a better question too is, or another question that I would add is, who do you think who has the best chance to beat him? That's my question.
I think so much of it has to do with who we put money behind that I don't really even think that's a real question. I think we're avoiding what finances do in elections if we're just being like, who should be it? It's like, truly, I will vote for anyone who runs against Trump. I think it'll be Biden with probably a Warren as his VP or like Kamala Harris. That's like my guess. Because I think that would just be like smart and what they would do because he's like an old, out of touch white man. So you gotta like pair him with someone who's not. And I do think that they're gonna be like, see, we are still liberal. A woman can be number 2. So I think that's how it's gonna go. And I don't think Biden can beat Trump, which I think is why it's a John Kerry type decision.
Do
And
you
I don't
think
think he should
anyone
do
can
that.
beat Trump?
Yes, I do.
You know who could beat Trump? Max McQueen. You guys familiar with Max McQueen?
Nope.
Of course you're not, because he's my fantasy candidate in my brain, who's like the perfect Democratic candidate, very Kennedy-esque, very superstar-esque, that would annihilate Donald Trump. Problem is he's fictitious and in my brain. It's difficult to get him on the ticket.
I mean, I like Bernie, and my favorite thing about him is universal health care, and he, I think, is more committed and like more further along with that than Elizabeth Warren, which I think is, as someone that had breast cancer a couple of years ago, I only was able to like get my shit taken care of because I got married a year before I got cancer. That shit was lucky.
Right.
How sad is that to say that, oh, I'm so lucky I got married before I got cancer? That's the weirdest shit, right? You should never have to say that out loud, right?
That's a weird statement you should not say. Aaron,
But
who
yeah,
do you
that's all I'm
who do you
saying.
think's going to get the nomination and then who's going to win?
I think Bernie gets it. I think he's got the machine behind him. He has the youth. He's got the money, and he's tried and true. He's been the same thing forever. It's whether you actually buy into that or not. He's going to have issues with socialism. He's going to have issues with being pinned as that and giving everything away for free.
Lest we forget the man just had a heart attack.
That's all
that
I
not-
can think about.
I
I'm
mean,
like, he's
that's-
too fucking old to be president.
So old.
He's
And he's
too
not
fucking
very
old.
Biden too, though. I think we don't
78?
need
What are we
the
doing?
olds running the country.
But I think it comes down to the ticket. Like I think he could go with someone if he goes with Klobuchar. Right? You're in the Midwest. You have a woman.
Dude.
No.
I
But
like
look,
Klobuchar.
But Klobuchar is like the
I
female
like her.
Tim Kaine in a way. Like I think that can work. It's not my pick, but I think that can work. I think he can do Booker. I think he can. The power ticket is what's going to beat Trump because any one of them versus him, they're not ready for that, in my opinion.
I think
Bernie
any-
is probably the most ready. I think Buttigieg and Yang can give him a run for his money.
But you don't think that whoever ends up being the nominee is going to choose a woman as their VP because they feel like they have to? I feel like that's what's going to happen.
It should be Stacey Abrams if they're going to do it.
Stacey Abrams.
She's the most qualified.
I just met Stacey Abrams' brother yesterday. Now we're to the final person, the only vote up here that matters, Darrell
I
Hammond.
think she actually would be a really good candidate to go against him. She would tear him. She'd hit him pretty hard. But it'll be Biden. Yeah, Stacey Abrams. It'll be Biden and Trump will win.
Does anybody in this crowd? I mean, take
We're so
your
depressing, right?
not
We're
what
all
you,
so depressing.
not who you
Wow.
want to win. Who does this crowd think is going to just being completely rational? Do you think Trump is going to get reelected?
It depends on the economy.
Yeah.
Depends. Get this man a microphone.
Yeah.
It
You could
depends.
run a fucking horny toad against Trump. If the economy's bad, he's gonna lose, and if
Yeah.
the economy's good, then he probably will win.
Yeah.
That's it. It doesn't matter who it is.
That's my man.
Very. Give it up for
He's
Max.
got the Netflix code.
Max. They have the show.
That's a good question too. Great question.
One final audience participation.
One final
moment?
audience,
Sound
please.
good?
Anybody?
Yeah, I was going to ask, is anyone up there or in the audience actually that married to any particular affiliation or candidate? Because personally, it seems like the older I get, the more and more realize I have no real control of the system. And it almost feels like the more I stress and obsess over who's affiliated with what, I lose sight of like the bigger picture. It's kind of like getting too involved with an abusive partner, you know?
Do you mean party?
I think
Doesn't
party
really-
candidate.
party affiliation in particular. It's like the more deeper you get obsessed with who's what, it's almost like getting involved with an abusive relationship. It's like, I don't care what the hell you call yourself, Jennifer. Will you just take out the goddamn trash?
Hey, listen, I think it could be summed down to this. Who are you putting on the back of your car on a sticker if you were going to do that? I don't have anybody that I would put on the back of my car. I don't drive. But if I did, I have nobody that I would put on the back of my car in a sticker. Do you, Darrell?
What about Max?
Max McQueen, yes.
I like Mayor Pete a lot if he had a chance.
I think he has a
That'd
chance.
Yeah.
He does in Iowa.
Just one state. Just the one.
I actually like Mayor Pete as well.
You have a former military guy, you have a gay man, you have a religious man, you have a guy in the Midwest. Like, he's ticking a lot of boxes that normally don't go together. So I don't know what that means, but I think it's interesting. I think he does speak, and you know, he's got his downfalls as well, but I think he speaks to people in a very genuine way, and I think that resonates.
I think it inspires people too.
Yeah.
You know, he presents a vision of America that people can get excited about, and that I think is what you have to do to go up against. But I agree, it's the economy.
And he might not die in office.
Wait, what was the question again?
Do we have one candidate that you're getting behind?
Yeah, are you just...
Or is it just anybody that's on the Democratic side because you want to get Trump beat? Is there any of them that so inspire you that you put their sticker on your car? Now, before you know who the nomination is.
Say that.
Well, I paraphrased. That's what I get to do up here.
No, to me, I guess like the problem that I think with a lot of like young people is that they put the pussy on the pedestal. You know what I mean? It's like the candidates are just people. They're just candidates. Like, I'm very tired of the pendulum swinging back and forth and being like, Bernie said Elizabeth can't win because women fucking trash. It's like, that's not what happened.
Yeah.
He stated a reality that is true, which is that most people don't vote for women. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just weird to me that we constantly have to overreact all the time because we're like putting these candidates up as like gods, and it's like, they're just fucking people. They're trying to get a job. Remember when people ran for student council in your high school? They're not all qualified. It's also like just fucking,
It's very similar. It's a popularity contest.
Yeah, and I really feel like we should stop thinking that every little thing makes it so you don't vote for the person.
Right.
And you just have to be like, okay, is it more important to you that they're for universal health care than what they said about Beyonce?
It should be
You know
about
what I mean? Like, you just, at some point, have to draw that line.
And to the gentleman's question too about affiliation too, I think if you take that in a party perspective to the same thing of like, I think the parties are faction now, and I don't think anyone really feels, I mean, maybe an older demographic, but no one's really like, well, they're a Democrat, so I have to. Like, I think they do care about issues, and people are voting along issue lines, and I hope they do.
I think that's a really good point, because that is why Bridget came up with what I think is just the brilliant term for the past couple of years, which is she came up with the shelter for the politically homeless. And on her podcast, she brings up the shelter for the politically homeless, because there's so many people who feel politically homeless, right, Darrell, that aren't like with the far left, you know, Bernie Sanders leg. They're not with what they perceive as being the far right Trump, and they feel politically homeless. They feel unrepresented. Is that when you came up with that? What was the meaning behind it?
Yeah, it seems like a lot of people have been kind of pushed center, really, from both because the extremism is so intense, and so even though that might not be the reality, that's what we hear as these extremist kind of positions, and so a lot of people feel like they're not represented. But that being said, I think it's still a two-party system and you know, there's not a third choice. And so, gun to the head, you know, you have the final vote. You still have to choose one or the other. You know,
Darrell, do you feel politically homeless?
I don't even quite know what it means.
Do you feel like there is a party that represents you, your ideas, your values strictly and completely?
No.
Okay. So you feel politically homeless. Okay.
Kind of disenfranchised, I guess. Not a part of
I mean, do you feel politically homeless? Do you feel like the left is like, this is your party, everything they say, everything they do,
Nah.
you're behind it?
No, on my worst day, I would vote for a Democrat I knew nothing about over a Republican.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, like, Jews and poor people have never voted for Republicans, and I'm not going to start now. You know? And it's not like it's based on just the party lines. It's just strictly my interests have only ever been advanced by Democrats. like the
Well, what do you think
workers'
of-
rights, 8-hour workday, like anything, women's rights, like no party has advanced that other than the Democrat Party, and that's just a fact.
No parties advance anything other than Democrats, ever.
Thank you. That's why I'm married to you. I'm gonna fuck you later.
Wow,
that's what
is that
I'm
all it
saying.
takes? I wanted the Democrats to reign.
No, I was already married to him. That's not all it takes. But I'm just saying that's how I feel. I feel like fundamentally, if we get down to it, there's certain things that the Democrats have pushed through that have worked that I am fundamentally for, and that is where I'm at. So if it comes down to Democrat versus Republican, yeah, your girl will vote Democrat. If you're like, are you a Democrat, like super loving the entire party? No, I'm probably an anarchist.
Yeah.
But I will vote in a way that makes the most sense because I'm not a fucking idiot, you know?
Aaron, do you feel politically homeless?
I just feel homeless, period. But yeah, yeah, I do. It's hard because I think if you're looking at the pendulum, I'm probably more left than I am right. But I also have a family dynamic which has conservatives and liberals in it, so I've understood that lens, and I talk about it a lot here about the father figure and the nurturing mother figure, and where you fall in line with those ideologies. So having both, I feel like I don't have my foot anywhere, right? So, but that makes it hard when it comes to an election. But like you're saying, like, yeah, what it comes down to is like, you have to look at this in the scope of what matters to you and what's going to affect your life. So, yeah.
All right. Well, this has been wonderful. Does everybody like the new title, Darrell Hammond Saves the World? We just did it. Do we feel like Darrell saved the world in this first? I do.
Yeah.
Do you, Darrell? How do you feel about your first foray out in saving the world?
Well, I like the other two titles. Darrell Hammond doesn't save the world, and Darrell Hammond doesn't know how to wipe his ass, so therefore couldn't save anybody. So,
We're gonna switch it in 2 weeks.
I kinda like the
I
last
forgot to ask our fact checker Dustin real quick. Do you feel politically homeless, Dustin?
Hey, I just checked the facts, buddy.
All right, I'm going to take that as a hard yes. Bridget, do you have anything that you would like to plug for this?
Yes,
week?
I have a podcast, Walk-ins Welcome, and I interview people from all over the spectrum of life, not just politics. I would love to have Sophia on.
She's never asked me to be on once. She's asked me to come watch it, but not be on.
And I have a
She
YouTube
doesn't
show
want it.
called Dumpster Fire where we just laugh while the world burns. Won't be for everyone.
It's hysterical. It's very, very
my
great.
coping mechanism. But yeah, that seems to be wildly popular at the moment. So.
Who's your next guest on Walking?
We had Jessica Michelle Singleton
I love
this
her.
week. She's a comedian, amazing, brilliant woman. Next week, I did a Digital Sky. It's called Digital Sky. I did a series, and we have Scott Zakarin. He's one of the creators, coming to talk about that. Oh, and watch Curb Your Enthusiasm because nobody knows this. I haven't told anyone until right now, but I might be a hostess in it.
Yeah! Curb is back. When is Curb? Curb's back it's like tomorrow, right?
I thought I could
Curb is
cut
back
it.
tomorrow night. Thank God.
That's fucking awesome.
It's like one
Sophia,
line.
do you have something you'd like to tell us about?
Yes,
Plugging
I have
wise?
2 podcasts. One is called Private Parts Unknown. It's about love and sex around the world. It's really fun. Yeah, it is kind of crazy, but it is fun. We've gone to like Helsinki and Mexico City. We're about to go to Tokyo. It's really interesting. And then I have another podcast that's purely trash pleasure. It's called 420 Day Fiance, and it's a 90-day fiance podcast,
Wonderful.
which is half recap, half game show. It is very fun, so please subscribe.
I just learned about the whole 90-day fiance thing. My mom
Oh
turned me
my
on.
god, I've been
Aaron?
on that shit since day one, and it is the best show
I binged
ever.
a little bit. Yeah, Common Ally, commonally.com. We have an app. It's a nonpartisan, issue-based app for young voters. Common Ally.
Great. Dustin?
Tomorrow night, 4 p.m. I have therapy. And then after
I think you
that,
have something else.
At 7:30 p.m. I'll be at Cheetah Strip Club. For a comedy show called Make It Rain Comedy.
Oh my god, are you working the pole after?
Yeah.
Okay, I know about that show. That show's
That sounds delightful.
It's a free show, but you can bring wands and throw them on the stage, please. And Daddy's got to get paid.
So anybody who wants to see Fact Checker Dustin doing comedy and stripping, go where?
To Cheetah's Comedy Club, or Cheetah's Strip Club. Tomorrow,
Cheetah's Strip Club.
Yeah.
Darrell, what's going on with you, bud?
I'm doing another part for Amy Sedaris next week, so that's a couple of parts I'm doing for her, and then
That's so cool.
I'm doing CBS Sunday morning talking about the book I wrote, God If You're Not Up There, I'm Fucked.
Yeah, which is a wonderful, wonderful book. It's okay. No, it's good. Well, I will be doing absolutely nothing because we're going to be dark for a couple of weeks on this show until Darrell gets back. And this is all I got going, and basically all I do. It's that sad. It's that sad. This has really, really been wonderful. You guys have been a wonderful, wonderful audience. Thank you so much for coming. See you in 2 weeks.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming out to the world famous Hollywood Improv. Watch your eyes as the house lights coming up. If you guys still have a tab open at the bar, swing it over, see your bartender. Get that closed out. Let's make sure we take care of our bartenders, guys. Matt's been taking care of us.